long line of trailers and motorhomes goes on and on and on, stretching for about a mile. Located just minutes away from some of the wealthiest zip codes in the country, this growing RV encampment has come to symbolize the haves and the have-nots in this.
Homeless RV owners are getting their chance to take their frustrations to court.
They say the city is unfairly ticketing them and forcing them to constantly keep on the move.
Tonight on Fox 10 Investigates, a full view of the valley's homeless crisis parked in a large vacant lot. It's a new homeless community that popped up in Phoenix.
The American dream. A house, a yard, a future filled with promise. But today, that dream is slipping away. Thousands of Americans are being forced to trade their homes for wheels, turning the symbol of freedom into a harsh reality. Living in an RV. Picture rows of RVs under dim streetlights. Families huddled inside, children trying to study, seniors struggling to stay warm. This isn't adventure, it's survival. Across the country, from busy cities to sun-baked deserts, working-class families, teachers, nurses, and retirees are now calling parking lots and campgrounds home. Skyrocketing rents, soaring home prices, and stagnant wages are pushing people to the brink. Evictions rise, affordable housing disappears, and families who once felt secure now face uncertainty. Behind every RV is a story. It's not just about homes, it's about dreams, routines, and dignity. Schools, jobs, healthcare all become complicated when your home has wheels. Yet, in the shadows of this struggle, resilience emerges. Communities form, strangers offer help, and people adapt in ways that are both heartbreaking and inspiring. In this video, we'll reveal the cities where this crisis is exploding the most and share the human stories behind the headlines. Behind every RV is a tale of struggle, perseverance, and hope. Let's take a closer look at America on Wheels. The new American homeless. Across the United States, a quiet crisis is unfolding. It doesn't make the front pages every day, but it is growing, and fast. The streets are filling not just with tents or sleeping bags, but with RVs, vans, and campers. These vehicles, once symbols of freedom and adventure, are now homes for thousands of Americans who have been priced out of the traditional housing market. Welcome to the new face of American homelessness, vehicle residency. It's not what people imagine when they hear homelessness. These are working families, retirees, nurses, teachers, and even young professionals who somehow manage to live a seemingly normal life, only to be pushed into life on wheels. The numbers are staggering. In cities like Los Angeles, Seattle, and Las Vegas, RVs now outnumber tents in many neighborhoods, a testament to the scale of this silent epidemic. The cost of living has skyrocketed while wages have remained stagnant for decades. A nurse who earns $60,000 a year finds herself competing with skyrocketing rent prices that demand $2,500 or more for a modest apartment. A retiree on Social Security finds their fixed income unable to cover rising housing costs. Inflation, rising property taxes, and the scarcity of affordable homes combine into a perfect storm. Families have no choice but to convert vehicles into temporary homes. Walk through a Walmart parking lot at night, and you'll see the signs of this new reality. RVs lined up like an impromptu community. Inside these vehicles, daily life continues. Children finish homework under dim lights, parents prepare quick meals in cramped kitchens, and seniors navigate mobility issues in confined spaces. It is a fragile balance where safety, hygiene, and stability are constantly under threat. And yet, living in a vehicle is far from easy. Sanitation is a daily challenge, with limited access to showers, clean water, and laundry facilities. Privacy is virtually non-existent. Every decision, where to park, how to feed a family, how to stay safe, is a struggle. Kids attending school must navigate long commutes or online classes from a cramped RV interior. Elderly residents risk health complications due to inadequate space, unstable heating, and limited access to care. This is not a temporary trend. The phenomenon of vehicle residency has been steadily rising for years, fueled by systemic failures. A housing market that prioritizes investors over residents, stagnant wages, and urban policies that fail to address affordability. Cities may offer overnight parking or RV-friendly zones, but these measures are often limited, leaving thousands in precarious situations. Vehicle residency is more than a statistic. It is the embodiment of a larger problem in American society. It challenges our notions of stability, success, and the American dream. Families who thought they were secure find themselves on wheels, forced to adapt in ways they never imagined. And yet, within this struggle, there is also hope. Hope that these stories can draw attention to the systemic issues, hope that solutions will emerge, and hope that the resilience of these Americans will inspire change. As we move forward in this video, we will explore not only the cities where this crisis is most severe, but also the deeply personal stories that humanize the statistics. The dream versus the reality. For years, the image of life on wheels has been glamorized. YouTube videos, Instagram reels, and lifestyle blogs depict sunlit highways, scenic campsites, and the freedom of van life. It looks adventurous, liberating, and even romantic. But for thousands of Americans, this isn't a choice. It's a necessity born of desperation. The reality is far harsher. These vehicles are not spacious studios or scenic escapes. They're cramped homes on wheels where privacy is scarce and comfort is limited. Every meal is a challenge, every night a gamble in terms of safety and stability. Families who once imagined buying a home now navigate parking lots, RV parks, and city ordinances just to find a place to sleep. Take Karen and Jim, a couple in their 50s. After years of living in a modest suburban home, a sudden rent hike forced them out. Their fixed incomes weren't enough to cover even the smallest apartments. With heavy hearts, they invested in a used RV. Today, their days are spent balancing part-time work, grocery runs, and maintenance of their new mobile home. Nights bring the anxiety of limited security and the constant awareness of city patrols and moving regulations. Children growing up in these conditions face unique challenges. Many have to adjust to online schooling from the confined space of an RV, while parents try to create a sense of normalcy amidst uncertainty. Extracurricular activities, social interactions, and even friendships are harder to maintain. Yet despite these hardships, parents strive to provide stability and reassurance, demonstrating the resilience of human spirit in dire circumstances. Sanitation is another pressing concern. Without reliable access to showers, bathrooms, and laundry facilities, daily routines become logistical puzzles. Simple tasks like washing dishes, showering, or doing laundry are complicated, time-consuming, and often stressful. These are the everyday realities that contrast sharply with the glamorous portrayal of RV living online. Safety is always on the minds of those living in vehicles. Cities have ordinances restricting street parking, and RV owners often face sweeps or fines. In some areas, crime rates are higher, and residents must constantly weigh the risk of theft or harassment. Even well-lit parking lots or designated safe zones do not completely eliminate the dangers. The emotional toll is heavy. Feelings of embarrassment, isolation, and fear are common. Many report a sense of being stuck, caught between the need for shelter and the impossibility of affording traditional housing. Yet, amidst these struggles, there is also a surprising sense of community. Neighbors in RV parks, parking lots, or informal camps often look out for each other, sharing resources, advice, and companionship. These micro-communities provide a semblance of stability and hope, even in the most precarious conditions. The contrast between the dream and the reality is stark. While online content romanticizes the flexibility and freedom of life on the road, real RV residents face the unrelenting pressures of survival. It is a life dictated not by desire, but by economic necessity. And as the housing crisis deepens across the United States, this form of homelessness is no longer a fringe issue. It is a growing reality for ordinary Americans. Understanding this gap is crucial. It reveals the human side of a crisis often reduced to numbers in reports or headlines. Behind every RV is a story of loss, adaptation, and determination. These stories challenge our perception of homelessness and compel us to consider the systemic failures that have brought so many to life on wheels. As we continue, the following chapters will explore why this crisis is escalating, what systemic issues have contributed, and the cities where RV living is becoming a dominant part of the urban landscape. The contrast between the dream of freedom and the reality of necessity sets the stage for understanding the full scope of this unprecedented challenge. Cities where RV living is exploding. Across the United States, certain cities have become epicenters for the RV living crisis. These are not just random spots. They are places where the economic pressures, housing shortages, and social dynamics converge, forcing thousands to trade traditional homes for vehicles. In this chapter, we'll explore 10 cities where this phenomenon is most pronounced, uncovering the human stories behind the statistics. 10. Los Angeles, California. Los Angeles is known for its glamour, Hollywood allure, and sprawling urban landscape. Yet beneath the glitzy exterior lies a housing crisis of unprecedented scale. Median rent for a one-bedroom apartment has soared well above $2,000, and purchasing a home in most neighborhoods is simply unattainable for average earners. The combination of high rent, stagnant wages, and skyrocketing cost of living has made LA a ground zero for RV residency. In neighborhoods like Venice Beach, RVs line the streets, often just a few steps from luxury condos and expensive retail stores. Families park near the coast using public restrooms, laundromats, and nearby fast food chains to manage day-to-day life. Local ordinances attempt to regulate street parking with periodic sweeps by law enforcement, but enforcement is inconsistent, creating a precarious existence for residents. The psychological toll is immense. Constantly moving to avoid fines, worrying about safety, and maintaining privacy in crowded urban spaces adds a layer of anxiety that traditional housing might shield. Yet, despite the hardships, residents demonstrate resilience, creating makeshift communities, supporting neighbors, and finding creative ways to adapt. 9. Seattle, Washington. Seattle has long been a tech hub, drawing high-income workers while simultaneously pushing long-term residents out of affordable housing. The median rent in many parts of the city exceeds $2,000, while wages for non-tech jobs have not kept pace. This economic disparity has contributed to a surge in RV living. Areas like Ballard, Northgate, and South Lake Union see rows of parked vehicles, each representing a person or family navigating the gap between cost and income. The city has attempted to create safe parking programs, offering designated lots with restrooms and limited services, but the demand far exceeds availability. Seattle's weather adds another layer of difficulty. Rainy months make living in vehicles uncomfortable, while icy conditions increase risks for those parked along streets without shelter. Despite this, the RV community has adapted, building social networks and informal support systems to survive the city's harsh winters. 8. Minneapolis, Minnesota. Minneapolis represents a different kind of crisis. While not as expensive as Los Angeles or Seattle, the city's housing shortage and affordability challenges push people into RV living. The city experienced a surge in rental costs over the past decade, and gentrification in several neighborhoods has displaced long-term residents. Vibrant city life and cultural hubs contrast with the stark reality faced by those living on wheels. Residents park in public spaces, industrial lots, and sometimes along quieter residential streets. Minneapolis has experimented with temporary RV zones, but zoning laws and neighborhood complaints create ongoing tension. Consider the story of Lisa and Mark, a couple in their 40s who lost their apartment after a sudden rent increase. With nowhere else to go, they converted a mid-sized RV into a functional living space, balancing work, childcare, and survival. Their resilience and ingenuity highlight the human element often lost in statistics. 7. Portland, Oregon. Portland has become synonymous with affordability challenges and social experimentation. Rent hikes, coupled with limited housing development, have created an environment where RV living is increasingly common. Neighborhoods like East Portland and the Pearl District show stark contrasts between modern urban living and the streets lined with parked RVs. Many residents attempt to maintain dignity through creative adaptations, using solar panels, community showers, and local networks to share resources. Emotional narratives abound. For example, a former teacher now lives in her van, finding solace in local libraries and community centers, showing how even highly educated professionals are not immune to economic pressures. 6. San Diego, California. San Diego's mild climate and coastal attractions make it a desirable city, yet its housing crisis is severe. High demand and limited inventory drive rents into unaffordable territory. Many residents turn to RVs as a temporary or semi-permanent solution. Families park near beaches or in industrial lots, navigating city regulations that limit overnight stays. Community organizations and local nonprofits provide limited services, but for many, the struggle is daily and tangible. A couple in their 50s, recently displaced by rising rent, now lives in a converted RV. They adapt by planning meals efficiently, finding safe parking, and supporting other residents, illustrating resilience amidst crisis. 5. Las Vegas, Nevada. Las Vegas's appeal as a tourist destination hides the stark reality of high rent and low-income housing shortages. Strip-adjacent neighborhoods see increasing numbers of RV residents, some working in the service industry, others displaced by housing inflation. Las Vegas offers designated RV parks, but demand is high and costs are significant. Many resort to parking lots, creating informal micro-communities. 4. Phoenix, Arizona. Phoenix experiences a combination of heat, urban sprawl, and rising rent pressures. Affordable housing is scarce, particularly in the downtown and central city areas. Many families, retirees, and transient workers turn to RVs as a coping mechanism. Residents park in suburban streets, industrial areas, and even near retail centers. Support networks often develop among the RV community, providing shared resources and emotional support. Stories of resilience abound, but the extreme heat adds a dangerous element to daily survival. 3. Denver, Colorado. Denver's tech boom and influx of high-income workers has driven up housing costs, creating pockets where RV living is increasingly necessary. Neighborhoods like Five Points and Aurora see residents parking in lots, struggling to maintain basic living conditions while working full-time jobs. Veterans and single mothers frequently face the brunt of these pressures, with limited city programs available to address immediate needs. Emotional stories highlight perseverance in the face of logistical, financial, and psychological challenges. 2. Austin, Texas. Austin's rapid growth, tech industry expansion, and rising rents have displaced long-term residents, forcing some into RV life. Streets in East Austin near industrial zones show rows of vehicles converted into homes. A young family previously living in a modest apartment now navigates city life from their RV. They attend school, work, and maintain social connections, illustrating both adaptability and the strain caused by systemic issues. 1. New York City. Even in the world's most iconic city, RV living has emerged. High rents, skyrocketing real estate costs, and limited affordable options push some residents toward unconventional housing. Parking along outskirts near industrial zones or in RV-friendly areas, these New Yorkers manage a city that is often hostile to their lifestyle. Stories include retirees on fixed incomes, gig workers, and families seeking stability. New York's density creates challenges unique to urban RV living, limited parking, strict enforcement, and safety concerns, but also highlights community solidarity among residents. Each RV tells a story of survival, adaptation, and perseverance. From Los Angeles to New York, the crisis is visible, emotional, and growing. These cities are a window into the larger American housing and economic challenges, where the RV is no longer just a choice, but a necessity. As we move forward in the next chapter, we will explore life in parking lots, church programs, and the hidden communities forming within these mobile cities, revealing the resilience, struggles, and human spirit that make this crisis both compelling and urgent. Life in parking lots. For many forced into RV living, parking lots have become the unlikely backdrop of daily life. What was once a temporary solution has turned into a permanent existence for thousands of Americans. Walmart parking lots, church grounds, and industrial lots are now home to people who never imagined a life without a roof over their heads. Church programs and local nonprofits attempt to provide support. Some churches open their parking lots to RV residents during the night, offering electricity, water, and sanitation facilities. Volunteers distribute meals, clothing, and hygiene kits, creating a small sense of community in an otherwise transient world. These acts of kindness serve as a reminder that even in hardship, human solidarity persists. Police presence in parking lots is both necessary and intimidating. Local authorities regularly perform sweeps to ensure safety and compliance with ordinances. Yet, within these parking lot communities, resilience thrives. Informal networks emerge. Neighbors share food, advice, and companionship. They watch out for each other's safety and maintain a sense of dignity despite the circumstances. These stories reveal the emotional complexity behind the numbers. People are not just statistics. They are individuals navigating the collision of economic pressure, societal systems, and the enduring human spirit. As you reflect on what you've seen today, think about the hidden Americans behind the wheels, the teachers, nurses, veterans, and retirees making difficult choices to survive. America is changing, and the RV crisis is a window into that change. It is a reminder that the human spirit persists, even when systems falter. The road ahead is uncertain, but one thing is clear. Behind every wheel, there is a story worth listening to, a life worth respecting, and a lesson for all of us about empathy, resilience, and the evolving nature of the American dream.